Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Monday, the 22nd day of July, 2024. Oh, goodness, we've got fires all around us. So forgive my voice is a little impacted by it. We were just out at the store. I had to run uptown real quick before we came back to do this and do the reading, and it was nice and cool, which it hasn't been. It's been it's been in the hundreds, high 90s, low hundreds. Well, I think it got up to 104 one day. But we've been dealing with a lot of heat. I guess we're supposed to get a week or two where it's going to be in the 80s. Yay. Anyway, we're at the 22nd day of the month here, and 22 is the master number known as the cosmic builder. I look at it as profound soul level change, and or at least profound change, which apparently we are now going through a little bit here in this country. But it is change that I think will be exciting in the end, and maybe pushing us in a direction that we need to go. And where we can build a different future together that is based on respect and dignity and honor and respect for people's rights, particularly the rights of women, so that seem to be so threatened right now. But anyway, I've gone ahead and I've drawn everything. I started once and things got weird, so I had to restart. But I've got everything here, and I'm just going to talk about it. I pulled Thurzaz, which is the third rune of the Elder Futhark. It's known as the thorn. It kind of looks like a rose thorn there, the way that, you know what a thorn looks like on a rose bush. It's different than other kinds of thorns. It's kind of got a wide base to it, but it's very it can be very damaging if you run your arm through a rose bush and you don't see the thorn there, and it can just totally open up a whole thing on your arm. That's always fun. But then at minimum, it can scratch you. It can poke into you. So it has a profound effect, but essentially you're looking at not only the thorn, but it also means Thor's hammer. So if you think about the impact of Thor's hammer, like we see in the movies, with Thor swinging it around and the profound impact it has wherever it lands, you can understand the idea of defense against opposition, basically. It could be new beginnings. It could mean chaos. It could mean giants, because Thor was really big, reportedly. It could mean impulsive behavior, and trying to control the impulse within, or perhaps you're dealing with the impulsive behavior of someone else today. We also have Albus from Geomancy. Now, Albus is the complement of Rubius, which is the out of control rune, the one where there's some misuse of force and all of that. But with Albus, on the other hand, on the other side of the equation, you're looking at the sage, you're looking at wisdom, you're looking at clarity, but from a higher place. So it looks like the two are probably working together to either help you defend against opposition or to control the lack of impulse within. Maybe. We'll see when we look at the cards here. And for the cards, they have a fire element aspect within each one, even though I've got two cards from the Major Arcana. The other one, though, in the center is the Six of Wands, and so that's definitely fire element there. But the other two cards I have here are the Magician and Temperance, and so I'll show you Temperance first here. It's the one at the end. You can see the glyph for fire right here. You see the red wings on the angel. And what the angel's doing there with Temperance is creating moderation. The angel is pouring water back and forth to balance water with fire. In other words, emotion with will. And so emotion would be the water element and will would be the fire element. So you see that there as well. But with the Magician, you also see it with the development of will here. You see the magician here standing in the as above so below stance. He's holding a wand pointed toward spirit and pointing downward toward physical reality. You see the rose and the lilies here down below. You also see the roses up above here. You see the lemniscate, or the figure eight, symbolizing eternity. I'll get it out there eventually. You see all of his tools on the table that represent each suit of the tarot. You see pentacles here, which is the earth element. Cups, a cup here with for water. You see a sword right here for air, and then here is the wand for fire, essentially. And what he's manifesting today, especially on this 22 Master 22 day, he's manifesting his reality. The Fool takes the leap into form. The Magician helps manifest the reality for the Fool, which is actually the soul. The soul uses the Magician energy to do that, and then the second card after the next card after the Magician, card 2, would be the High Priestess, and she deals with the subconscious realm and the integration between that and the soul and the physical reality. So you're looking at that type of a energy there. And in the center we have the Six of Wands here, and that is essentially about having you're going on you're seeing because it's a 6, you're going to see a sense of unevenness with him taller than these guys down here. So there's a sense of elevation with him. So he's either the lord of the manor, he might be the king, but you don't see an actual crown on him, so I tend not to see it that way. But maybe he's the lord of the manor and he's coming back from some kind of a meeting or something with other lords, and you can see that he's victorious. He's wearing the wreath on his head, and he also has one affixed to his staff there. It's possibly lucrative. We've got some green here, the green drape over the horse, so it could be something that's going to be very positive for his area, for the village where he lives, or maybe however that's done for him. This could be in terms of modern times, this could be the boss, the owner of the business, with these people being everybody that works for him, and he's just maybe landed a lucrative contract or something. It could be something like that, but they're all going in the same direction in support of one another, with this particular person guiding the way, essentially guiding the path forward. The 6 talks about that. It talks about empathy and harmony and assistance and guidance. And so how I interpret the 6 of Wands is everybody's going on a shared path in a positive direction here. And so but having 2 cards from the major arcana, major arcana cards are also known as soul archetype cards, and then the minor arcana would be all the details of how all that's going to play out, essentially, or the things you need to be thinking about as you manifest this higher stuff. So if you're developing your will with Thurisaz, then you're looking at something where you're trying to control your impulses so that you can develop your will in a way that is positive and done from a higher perspective, especially given, again, that these are soul archetype cards. So this is all influenced by higher self, essentially. And in that shared path that you're on, that you're going together, you're maybe a new opportunity has come about. And so you want to make sure that when you're looking at that new opportunity and developing it, essentially, that you're doing it in a way that understands the connectedness between, say, if this is, say, a boss and the people that work for him, that there's a connection there. And in order that this company, then, if we're going to use that as an example, is for the company to be successful with this new opportunity, everybody's got to get on the same page about it, all right, and assist one another and be there to listen to how people feel about how things are going. There's empathy that's involved in this as well, also compassion with the 6. And so being present for one another, essentially, and being there to support each other in the process. There's a huge, I get the huge hit of support off of this card, support for what this other person on the horse is doing, whoever that ends up being. And then again, balancing will with emotion. Here we have the angel with one foot on the ground. here and 1 foot in the water. That would be represented by the square there that the triangle sits in. The square would be the cube, and that's representative of the earth element. And then of course the glyph for fire there. Keeping all of that grounded, keeping your impulses grounded today. You have the light of spirit, the higher consciousness radiating from the angel's head. You've got the sun disk here, representing higher self. You see a path reaching up from the pond. It goes up from the pond all the way here between two mountain peaks there in the distance, where you see the sun rising. So new opportunities, a new day, a new way of seeing things, a new level of clarity. And again, that's going to represent Albus. And so let's before I come together with the entire idea of this, because I think this is going to end up being a pretty short reading today. I think this is pretty easy to see what this is about. Let's go ahead, and we've got a 3 numerology for Thurisaz. We've got a 1 for the Magician. We have a 6, and we have a 14. That's 24, and it reduces to 6. So again, a 6 numerology here. You know, this could have to do with a collaborative experience that you're going to be dealing with here, one where you need to access higher wisdom to control your impulses so that everyone has a voice, everyone has the ability to offer something to whatever it is you're doing here, this new opportunity that's coming your way. That is, you have the ability to manifest something new in your life. You want to do it in balance, or at work, if this is at work. But it's done collaboratively. It's done where you have respect for the other people's opinions and positions and viewpoints. It could be a situation where you take little pieces of what everybody has to say and come up with something else, but at least everyone's voice is heard. You realize that you have to be on the same page together, whatever the decisions are that are made. Everyone's got to be on the same page about it so that you can maximize and create the most benefit from using today's 22 energy, from the 22 numerology here, the master builder, the cosmic builder, that you can really build something together that's profound and could be, and if it's for a business, it may open doors for a whole new clientele that could come in, or maybe even a new direction the business could take. Businesses don't necessarily stay stagnant and do just one thing. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they want to maybe branch out to other things, that you hire people that have this other skill set, and suddenly you realize you have this treasure trove of skills that could maybe take the business, either broaden its reach or take a new direction, add other kinds of services you offer, that sort of thing. But again, with Thurisaz, in beginning the whole thing, again, it could be new beginnings. It can also be protecting what you have, but it's also controlling your impulses so that you don't get carried away, either emotionally, because sometimes our emotions will take us places that aren't realistic, and to have the will and the emotions in balance, the fire and water in balance, so that you're controlling the impulsive reaction you have. Both fire and water can be quite reactive, both can be quite passionate, very emotional. It's just that if you keep them in balance, then maybe you could see things a little more clearly, and with a higher level of clarity, than just getting caught up in the minutia of it all. You have to be able to see the overall picture and understand what's at stake, and having to be on the same page as one another will make that happen, as opposed to people trying to vie for maybe the boss's attention in all of it. That's not what this is about. This is about, again, controlling that impulse and manifesting your own contribution to this in a higher level of balance than maybe you might otherwise do. Impulse control is, a lack of impulse control can really throw a wrench into everything and mess things up, and you don't want to do that. You want to stay on the same page and realize that this is going to be a collaborative experience that everybody benefits from in the end. Um, so I think that's it. I think, hopefully this will resonate with any of you watching, or at least some of you watching. Hang on to it if it doesn't. There could be a situation coming up between now and Thursday when we meet again that you might say, oh, well, that sort of applies to the reading that I heard. You can think of it that way. But again, trying to keep things in balance, is can be difficult at times. You get ahead of yourself sometimes, and you don't think about the implications for everybody else involved. But the six alone tells me this is collaborative, and I think that's probably what this has to deal with here. So you have a chance today with the 22 numerology to do something quite profound, and maybe learning to collaborate with others and getting on the same page. That's profound. I don't know. So a lot of people like to just work independently. They don't really want to work with other people. They just they're in their own head and they got their own thing going, and that's fine. But sometimes some situations require something else. And this year, there's been, with the readings so far this year, there's been quite a few that have sort of centered on that, where it's collaborative in nature and learning to come together in common purpose, shared purpose. In a sense, that's what's happening here in the six. And so, I like the feeling of collaboration. I like the feeling of standing back with others and looking at what we just created together. I just happen to like that feeling. But I also like to work alone as well. And so I think that it's helpful to be able to do both. But honestly, if you've never tried it, and you're resisting it, drop resistance. You might find that working together is fun. You get to bounce ideas off one another, and in the end, you can all stand back and feel pretty good about what you did together. There's no feeling like that, really, I don't think. And working alone can't give you that. So there's times when you'll be alone. There's sometimes you need to work with others. And so I think that in doing that, you have to balance your will with your emotions, control your impulses, and draw influence from higher self so that you see the bigger picture, to see the bigger value of doing that. So anyhow, I think that's it for a Monday. Check out everything over there on the blog at Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. Click subscribe here if you haven't yet. I'd love you to do that. And I also publish a lot of that same stuff over on Medium, Patreon, and Substack if you like those platforms. But I'd love it if you checked out the blog. And if you forget the web address, just click on more below the video. It'll open up a window. Lots of stuff there. Everywhere I am on social media is down at the very bottom. But at the top there is the web address. So if you forget, it's right there. You can always find it. And it's on all the videos. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and have a good week, and we'll meet again on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.